Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to my live stream, the Bird interview podcast with the American Hallo teacher Nicole. So I believe the teacher Nicole would join us soon. Dear viewers, welcome once again. It's really my pleasure to inform you that today I've got the guest speaker, American Hallo teacher Nicole would be with us soon. So welcome once again. So let's wait for her. So hello Apple, welcome. Bana, welcome. Shima, welcome. Shubham, welcome. Welcome all the lovely people who have joined from the different parts of the world. Okay, Hassan, I'm not your dad, so don't just say to this word to me. I'll just remove you if you just don't stop it. Hello, Kulbir, welcome. Welcome all the lovely people. So we're waiting for our American Hello teacher Nicole. I believe that she would be joining us in no moment, in any time. Hello, Mariam, welcome. Oh, teacher Nicole is here. Wow, that's cool. Hi, teacher Nicole. I'm very happy to see you, and I'm sorry I'm running a bit late because of I had a problem. You're very welcome. We're going to start the lesson in 1 minute. Before that, I was welcoming all the lovely people. Dear viewers, this is our American, one of the amazing teachers. Hello, teacher Nicole. We're going to have some time, some conversation. And before we start the conversation, teacher Nicole, how much time have you got for us? That's great. That will be amazing. 45 minutes should be enough. All right. So, teacher Nicole, welcome. I started this, interview with Hello Teachers at the beginning of this year. That is not beginning, actually, second month from the February. And I'm sure you may know Canadian teacher Ryan. He was the first speaker, and I invited almost everyone. And honestly, what happens basically, we know our teacher, they come, they teach, and they're gone. We hardly know about them. So this interview is mostly about yourself, like your education, your teaching journey, or any other hobbies, and any other information that you'd like to share. Sometimes we ask fun questions, and sometimes we ask sad questions, sad story, etc. So welcome once again. So would you like to yeah, you're very welcome. Would you like to tell us, teacher Nicole, like where you are born, maybe your primary school, secondary school, and your up to education, and how did you become teacher, and when did you join Hello? Briefly, please. Mhm.
on our different systems, as well as, again, additional new hardware that we were creating and establishing for our customer base. So that led to my first real taste of official class setup of being able to educate people. I started with adults, teaching them how not only to use the technology, but then also to how to teach other people, share that wealth of knowledge and how to teach them so that they can make people's lives easier. Um, so that's how I started in the realm of teaching. Eventually, my path changed a little bit. Um, my family started to change and grow, um, and that led to me down to a different path, which was that I wanted to focus more on my family and being home with my children. So I started looking for an alternate path where I could still work with helping people, um, and then also be able to hopefully do that virtually, do that from home. And that led me to teaching English to young children online, which I have been doing now for over 4 years. I started to teach children between grade 12, upwards sometimes at age 16, and I've been doing that for over 4 years. Um, and I love that. They're a great group. They're very fun. And it's very silly sometimes, but it's wonderful. But I missed the connection I used to get with my adult learners. So that was one thing that led me to Hallo, was I wanted the ability to also help people who are of all ages, which is something you can experience at Hallo. I also liked that I can teach live,
Mm-hmm.
so I had many different ways to reach out and be able to help people um, with their English. So that's how I got here today, and how I continue to be here. Is I really love this interaction.
That's great, teacher Nicole. Thanks for the share. I'd like to know some specific information. So I believe that it's okay that you can answer. Like when you went to the primary school, you said you're in uh, New Hampshire. You grew up in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What? So when you were a child, what was your future plan? What you like to be when you grow up?
My plan as a child was I thought that I would grow up and be a doctor,
Okay.
specifically a doctor of children. It didn't work out so much for me. When I went to university,
Uh,
I started studying pre med.
would you like to
And
tell?
then
Sorry. Would you like to tell us the name of the university you studied?
yes, absolutely. So I actually went to a school called Providence College. It's about 20 minutes from where I live today. And so when I went to that school, I studied pre med. And right from the get go, not only do you have obviously science courses, but you have really some extensive labs, both on chemistry and physics. And I am not good with those those subjects. My chemistry and my physics projects never had the outcome they were supposed to have. I'm not great with doing the physical uh, actions somehow. It just not good for me. So, although I could make sense of it on paper, I couldn't make sense of it in reality. So that didn't work for me. Um, my father actually was a computer programmer. It started off as a math teacher in his younger years, and then studied and went into school for computer programming. And so the summer after my first year at college, I saw a class for computer science, for computer programming, and I thought that I would try it. And
Mm-hmm.
it turns out that I loved it. Um, and then that was where the path led, was changing to career in IT and computer science.
That's great. But isn't it a bit as unusual being a science teacher or science student? You just chose to be an English teacher. How do you find the difference?
I think the underlying thread, the thing that connects all of it, is that I want to help people. So ultimately, I like helping people reach their goals. So if it's a matter of you're struggling and you need help with knowing how to work a computer, and your goal is just to make that interaction easier, I like being able to provide someone the ability and the tips and tools to help them make that easier. Um, computers come easy to me, so I'm able to provide uh, sort of the go-between to help someone really understand, make things easier for them. I think language for me works the same way. I really like that. Um, I know growing up, I struggled with English. I had, and many people find this unusual. I haven't mentioned in my classes. When I was a young child, I had trouble pronouncing the R sound, and I actually had to go to speech classes to be able to produce the sound that R makes. It's not easy, and I know that firsthand. And so after much practice and classes and help from teachers, I was able to produce that sound, and that still sticks with me today. I really enjoyed that experience, even though I needed to learn how to produce that sound. I enjoyed that experience, and um, the end result of being able to then properly make that sound. So I think it back to both that and the fact that I really like helping people reach their goals. If I can help you with English, which I know can be difficult, sort of where the connection lies. It's just helping people learn to reach their goals.
Thank you very much, Teacher Nicole. So, dear viewers, we're having conversation with our American Hello teacher Nicole. And by the way, teacher Nicole has developed her own lesson, right? 4 skills. That's your lesson's name. I'd like to share and show it to our viewers. Teacher Nicole, give me one quick second. So this is the teacher Nicole's lesson, guys. Can you see on the right corner? At the moment, how many lessons you are offering for the Helloers, teacher Nicole?
I just started to expand out my schedule to the end of the year, so it's actually different than right now. I actually have 2 currently running live. One will start very soon, last week of the month, and then I have one that's going on live now on the weekends around the world too. That's currently live.
That's great. And also, I believe that you have your own 4 skills. Is that your own curriculum?
I was teaching that one on the weekends. That one is still a bit on hold because I'm still working on being able to put it on hold. So that one is in the works.
All right. Okay, that's great. So you started computer programming, then you became teacher to help the people learn English. That's really great. So we'd like to know a little bit more, teacher Nicole, like your personal life. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue. Blue, yeah, lots of different types of blue.
All right. I'm coming back to the letter R. American English is rhotic English, where you have to pronounce letter R. Whereas in British English, like I live in England, we don't pronounce R most of the times because it is non-rhotic and the way it is stressed on the intonation. So, would you like to give the more examples to our viewers? How they can understand whether it's a British accent or an American accent.
Oh, that's a very good question. In reference to the letter R, put me on the spot here. I don't. I don't know if I can think of a word off the top of my head. I'm a little bit nervous at the moment. I don't know what I'm able to think of.
Don't read teacher Nicole. We can skip the question, or we can go to the next question. So, your favorite color is blue, and your favorite food?
Oh, potatoes, and I have to say, on an unhealthy note, the one more specifically is French fries, or as you know, chips.
Okay. Uh, yeah, we call chips here in the UK, and you call French fries. That's another basic difference of the expressions of the two countries. Okay. Do you also like jacket potato? Do you know jacket potato?
I have had that. I've only had it a couple times, but yes, I have to tell you, I like. I don't think there's a type or a potato dish that I am not a fan of, though. I will take potatoes really in any form. It's like my weak point in my life. I really do. If you want to make, you're trying to get on my good side, you can just make a dish out of potatoes, and I'll be happy with that.
All right. So, should I say, is that your favorite food, teacher Nicole?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you know how to cook as well?
I do. I taught myself several years ago, and so there are some things that I'm better at cooking at. That I'm better that I cook better than others. For example, probably one of my specialties is I like to make soup. I can make a variety of different soups, anywhere went from I like to make a Thai chicken rice and mushroom
Hmm.
soup, a Portuguese kale soup. That's a huge favorite because my family's Portuguese. Um, chicken noodle soup. We're a big fan of soup in my house, so that's a big one that I do like.
That's great. Dear viewers, Teacher Nicole, for your information as well. We're going to ask the viewers to ask you question after a while. So that is at the last part. So they can ask you anything like your personal life, private life, your career, funny story, sad story. Maybe sometimes we ask for the female students, did you have a date? You see, if you think that some questions are too private, you can always skip. But some teachers try to answer it in a funny way. Okay, it depends on the teacher's discretion. So let's move on. So, teacher Nicole, do you know how to sing? Singing song.
So I have sung. I do sing. First off, do I know how to sing? I don't professionally know how to sing. I did. Um, I was part of my choir both in my secondary school
Mm-hmm.
for many years, both playing an instrument, playing guitar, and then also later on just singing. I'm a very nervous. I'm not good in front of large crowds, so I
Oh,
would sing, but I usually do not do well.
yeah. Is it okay if I request to sing one or two lines, your favorite song? Will it be okay?
Let's see. Let's see if I can think of it. So lately, I do. Most of my songs that I sing lately are children's songs. My sons are 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what can I sing? Oh, let's do this. I've changed my mind. So I have a song. Oh, you put me on the spot. I have to think. See, this is where I get a little bit nervous. Let's do this. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, you said that you also can play guitar. Is the guitar handy nearby? Maybe you can play a chord. I'm joking.
It is not handy. My voice is closer, so I'll try this. So this song is one of my favorites. It's called "Dream a Little Dream of Me." I'm so sorry for all of you. Here we go. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, "I love you." Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me.
That's great, amazing. I also play guitar, but I can't sing that much pretty well like you do. Okay. All right, that's cool. So, how do you spend your leisure time, Teacher Nicole?
Oh, by the end of the night, I have to say, uh, I would have to say maybe watching a show. If I'm lucky to watch maybe 30 minutes of television to fall asleep to. I spend my days taking care of my 2-year-old and my 4-year-old boy. So my day is filled with mostly that. And then but when my free time, when they are able to go to bed and I'm not teaching, I like to sometimes maybe read a book. But more often than not, maybe it's to try to get like maybe a half-hour show on just to kind of watch something to kind of
Okay,
relax before.
so I understand that you like reading books, as you said.
Yes, occasionally I do like reading books. Something that is fantasy. I typically maybe do a variety of things. I like things that have to do with sci-fi, so adventures out in space,
Mm-hmm.
anywhere from a romantic novel. I don't have a specific type, just something that if I put it on my list and I thought it was interesting to read, I might pick that up. It takes me a while to get through a book though because I don't have a lot of time, so it does take me a bit of time to get through something.
All right. So, who is your favorite writer and your favorite book, please? Maybe if you can mention.
I would say Shel Silverstein, even from a young age, he he writes. He doesn't. He's no longer with us. But Shel Silverstein is a great poet who wrote a lot of children's stories and poetry. And I would say even still one of my favorites. He wrote a story called The Giving Tree. Um, it's probably the one that I remember the most from childhood. And
Mhm.
I love that story. It's about a tree. He loves a boy.
All right. Now it's a related question. it may sound weird. Do you, did you read, Stephen King's book or watch his movies by any chance?
I am not a Stephen King fan.
But you
I
mentioned
just
you like sci-fi movies, so Stephen King's movies.
really, you're not wrong. That is a good point. I can't say that. I have seen, I have not read, I have not read his stories. I know of his stories. Is an avid reader of stories, but it was never, it was not something I could get into. I have seen, I can't remember what it's called right now. Um, I have seen a show that was based on one of his novels, um, and that I found interesting. But I know there are many people who do like his writing, but I have never been able to get into it.
Okay, that's all right, teacher Nicole. So now come back to next question. How many languages can you speak apart from English?
Pretty much just English. I did learn French when I was younger. That that learning was only for a couple years. I had a difficult time with learning French, so I can say, je me parle Nicole.
Hmm.
I can, I used to be able to tell you my age, um, and I can speak un peu, just a little bit, but and I can understand maybe what someone is saying a little bit more than I can speak it, but I had trouble with language. English was difficult, and still I worked at it, and um, I do like English very much, but then expanding into another language was difficult for me at the time. I do hear more typically now because my family that I married into is Portuguese, so I hear more Portuguese spoken around me more often than French. My family is more French, but they are living further with me.
All right, so you don't know how to speak in Portuguese, do you?
No, I don't.
All right, okay. So, bonjour, Madame Nicole. Comment ça va?
Oh, come see, come ça.
Comme ça. That is Arabic. That's cool. That's cool. Thank you very much. Okay. Yo soy guitarist. I can also play guitar. Teacher Nicole, by the way, I've been playing professionally from childhood from my country, Bangladesh. So it's more than 27 years, I should say. I Yeah, I played professionally in recording in many countries in many bands, Indian, Bangladesh, Jamaican, American, British rock band, and I went to visit in Europe with the bands.
Awesome. That is so cool. I do not have that. I do not have that history. Mine stopped when I was much younger. I haven't played in definitely a few years. I occasionally will pick up one, but I don't. I'll play my husband's, but I have not played in quite some time. That is very awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's really cool.
That's okay, teacher Nicole. We have a plan to bring all the teachers to make a musical live stream. I spoke with quite a few teachers like Jamie, Sherry, teacher Sky, and many other teachers who can sing, play a musical instrument. And teacher Jamie's husband is a good player as well. I have talked to him as well through the live. She said, "Yeah, we are going to ours in the future, don't we?" So okay, that would be fun. So let's move on, teacher Nicole. Have you visited any other country apart from the US?
When I was a small child, which I don't remember much of, I have gone to Canada. That's the closest other country to me. And then for right after my wedding, we went, for my honeymoon, we went to a country called St. Lucia.
Tu-
It is
Tu-
an island.
Tunisia.
St. Lucia.
I'm sorry, Saint Lucia. Oh, Saint Lucia. Okay.
Yes. Um, and that's as far as I have gone. I was supposed to go on a trip that was going to go to England, France, and Spain. And that trip had to be canceled because the company that I was working with at the time went into an emergency. The employees all went on strike,
Mm-hmm.
and I was not allowed to leave the country. I was actually not allowed to stop working. I had to work more in a sort of emergency call. And so So I didn't report to work, I would have lost my job. So I was not able to keep that trip, and it just hasn't happened. Life happens, and went down a different path, and I haven't been able to reset that opportunity to go on that trip again. So the plan was to travel, but the furthest I have been at this point is the island of St. Lucia.
Okay, that's cool. So if you ever come to England, please do let me know. I'll be happy to invite you and show you around if you have time. I live just next to London border, Essex County, which is very close to East London border. So it's roughly 15 minutes drive, and by the British Rail, it takes around 20 minutes to go in central London. Okay, so teacher Nicole, if you have been asked to choose one country to live apart from the US, which country would you like to choose and why?
Which country would I like to choose to live other than the U.S.?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, it just so happens that my family and I are currently in the process of getting our dual citizenship to Portugal. My husband's, both his mother and his father, and his mother-in-law, and all of their families are originally they were born in Portugal, and they've since come to America.
Mhm.
And my husband is first generation born in America. And so we are in the works of getting our now working on getting our dual citizenship to Portugal. So I guess I would have to say that would be where I would like to travel to. I haven't been there yet, but based on everything that I've heard, it sounds amazing, and I would love my children to get to experience that. So, what do you think?
Wishing your best luck about that, teacher Nicole. Now let's coming back to the Hello. So, how did you know about Hello, and when did you decide to join as a teacher here?
Sure. So I learned about Hallo. It was about 6 months ago, and I was doing research. I don't recall exactly when I found it. I was doing research on looking for opportunities to be able to teach adults, or to teach a wider age range than I currently was teaching. Um, because and also I really liked. I was also looking for an opportunity that would allow me to not only just teach a broader range of ages, but also to teach people around the world more than just my current. Prior to Hallo, my experience has mostly been with children in China, and I really like being able to expand that way, and so I wanted to experience more other cultures as well, people from all different places. So in my research, I had done some looking, and Hallo came up in that research. Um, so that was about 6 months ago, and then as I continued to do my research, this Hallo really continued to check a lot of boxes for me as sort of experience that I want to try. We do a lot of we watch streaming in my house even prior to
Mhm.
working at Hallo. So streaming is not unusual to me, and I thought that it was a great way to incorporate also learning a language. So um, then about 5 months ago, I applied, and I heard back a couple of days later, and then my path has been going all ever since.
That's great. So you have been already involved in teaching around 4 years, and now you joined Hello 5 months ago, right? So, teacher Nicole, what was your first experience when you went first time live here, live broadcast? How did you feel about it?
Oh, I was really nervous. As with anything, I in general I get very nervous in front of people. Although this experience is a little bit different because I don't see anybody. Um, when I was in college, I had the experience of I was a DJ on the radio,
Wow,
and
that's
so
cool.
yeah, I was nervous, but I liked that experience because again, people could hear me, but I couldn't see anybody, so it kind of took a bit of those nerves away. And this experience is, I feel, is a little bit similar in that respect. So that sort of led to thinking that I could try this, but I was very nervous. I so I was to finalize approval on Saturday, and then I went live just to say hello and tell a little bit about myself, like on Sunday night. Um, and it was great. It was a little nerve wracking, but it was fun. I early on, obviously, you don't have any hop on, so it was a little more. It was much easier to track sort of what's happening in the chat versus once you have both hop on and the chat going. Um, but I liked it. I liked it very much. And after I was done, um, which I've heard a few people kind of describe Hollow this way, a little bit of a little bit of addicting kind of feeling, whereas you want to do it again and again. And so I find myself, I like the interaction and the experience, not just in the chat, but through my hop on,
Mm.
having fun and learning. And yeah, it's a great, it's fun to keep on it. But I was really nervous that first time. It was much better now.
Okay, that's good to know. And thank you very much for the information. So, dear viewers, we're having conversation with our American Hello teacher Nicole, and she's explaining her experience. Okay, now teacher Nicole, as a teacher, how do you define professionalism?
I think it's important. There are a few things that go into professionalism, not just in how you present yourself. That's one part of it. Also in the words you choose and um, how you're able to how you're able to help the conversation go, keep the direction on a path that leads more to a professional that includes everyone in a conversation. So there are a few different things I think that go involved in professionalism, and those different parts. It's not just one thing; it's a few things that make up that aspect of it. Not just in how you present yourself to a group and how you interact with them, but also how you help them focus that conversation and gear it towards a more inclusive conversation and keep it on a professional as opposed to a more personal level.
Okay, that's cool, teacher Nicole. So, as a Hello teacher, how do you define your strength? Maybe more than one strength you can explain.
I think one of the things that one of the things that I do well with is pronunciation. In that I'm very particular and stubborn. I knew again in my personal experience, I know how difficult it can be to practice and work on using a proper sound correctly. And so if there's one thing I try and think that what is my strength is that I can help people really focus and learn how to produce a sound that they're not that may not necessarily be very foreign to them. It's not something they use in that language because I myself had that experience of struggling to learn it in my own language. So I feel like that definitely has led me to be able to help in the strength of
All right, and alternatively, your weakness, possibly.
so my weakness is that still to this day, I get really nervous in front of people. It always comes back to that. There are times and moments where I myself maybe don't feel confident enough, and then that can lead to me getting nervous and maybe not providing the best experience that I think that my students deserve. So I try to make sure in an effort to that, I try to make sure that I'm prepared in my classes, so that way I will feel more confident and make sure that I provide help to my students as best as I can during the lesson.
Okay, that's really great. And now, teacher Nicole, as you know, because Hello is a global platform of English learning, and we've got different kinds of learners, and not all are from the same level. So, when you prepare a lesson, how do you quantify or assess that they are getting benefited from your lesson?
Um, in reference to whether they are just a beginner as opposed to intermediate and advanced, is that
That's
what you're talking about?
that's right. Yeah. Mhm.
Um, so first, I think, well, the most important aspect is making sure that when I schedule out my classes, I try to make sure that whether I try to primarily stick to beginner and intermediate. Um, you know, it depends on a big part of my aspect of it is vocabulary, making sure that the vocabulary and the information I'm going to provide is going to meet whatever level I'm teaching that day, whether it's beginner or intermediate. I don't often get to teach an advanced class. I don't know that I'm confident enough for that. So, um, but I often so that's a big aspect of making sure that the lesson material that I've decided I've chosen for that day, and I picked, is definitely geared towards that specific audience, whether it's beginner or intermediate. Another aspect that definitely changes is the speed of my how quickly I speak. Try. I'm known for the part of the country that I live in, America, is very well known for speaking the fastest. So where in the intermediate class, I don't often check how quickly I'm speaking, but I definitely, for example, when I'm speaking to my younger students or even my beginner level students, I try to make sure I slow down the speech so that they can understand me, and that they have a better pronunciation better, and it's a better overall experience.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, teacher Nicole. So very often, this is very common questions. Students come and they ask this question. They're confused about the pronunciation and accent. Would you like to highlight about these two, terms?
Pronunciation versus accent. Let's see. Um, for pronunciation, that's a great question. You asked some good questions. Okay. You put me on the spot here. So, pronunciation versus accent. Um, if the pronunciation is going, for me, when I'm teaching my pronunciation classes, um, it's all about the formation of how you move both the different parts of your mouth. So both your lips, your teeth, your tongue, and where they are all placed when you're pronouncing the word. Whereas accent really depends. For me, accent is more on the lines of we may say a sound or a letter differently based on our accent. So in that one, we have a difference in how we pronounce something.
Okay, if I give a practical example, that will be much better for our listeners. So, Harry Potter doesn't need any water. Now, if you tell it in American accent, that will be the differentiation how they can understand. In British accent, we don't pronounce the R, but in American accent, we pronounce R, obviously. Yeah. So Harry Potter doesn't need any water. He needs magic wand, Wingardium Leviosa.
I have to say you were sort of out of my bounds of my being able to. I'm gonna pass on this question because I'm not very good at this one.
All right, okay, that's fine. So let's move on, teacher Nicole. Dear viewers, once again, we're having conversation with teacher Nicole. How much times have you got now, teacher Nicole? I need to ask you.
There's about 10 minutes left.
That's great. So we're going to ask to our viewers, dear viewers, if you have any questions or comments, and if you like to know anything about teacher Nicole's course, it's your high time to ask her in the comment section. She will read it, and possibly I'm going to read it out. And there are many students who are watching teacher Nicole. By the way, my live stream is always shared through my Facebook live stream as well as YouTube live channel. So there are many people are watching. Though it's midnight in Southeast Asian countries, most of my viewers are from Southeast Asia. It's late night, they can watch it tomorrow. Okay. And if you have any questions or comments about teacher Nicole, the teaching strategy, or any courses, how anyone can join in your course, would you like to explain, please, one more time, teacher Nicole, how they can join your course?
Yes, if you'd like to join a course, the best way to do it, especially if you're doing it from your cell phone, is to go on the Discover section of the app, which is a little magnifying glass. And then you're on that site, you can search specifically by teacher, or you can scroll down. And I am offering a couple courses currently in August, and then I'm expanding, which I'm working on right now, expanding out my course load for September all the way to the end of the year. So you can scroll down and you can find me and check in the various classes, the different courses that I'm currently offering through the app.
That's great. Now, this is a personal question. You are a mom of two children, and you are also teacher. How do you balance the mommy role, teaching role?
You know what? Sometimes they come together, although they're not supposed to. But in general, so the way it works is when I teach my young children, I teach in the morning before my children wake up.
Mm-hmm.
They usually get around 6:30, and so I usually teach between 4:30 and 6:30 in the morning my time. And then when I teach during the week, when I'm teaching on Hallo, I would teach after they go to bed. So about an hour after they're asleep, I start my class. And then typically on the weekends, I'm able now to teach more because my husband works with taking care of my children while I'm able to teach on the weekends. So other than that, sometimes they still crash. They sometimes still crash my classes, and you'll see them every once in a while come in and say hello, and want to know what people are doing, and they'll say hi. They're very excited to see the people on the screen.
Okay, that's really great. So that's really good information for our viewers as well. So, dear viewers, once again, if you have any more questions or comments, you're welcome to ask Teacher Nicole. And also, I understand, Teacher Nicole, you teach in some other countries' children. Is it?
I teach actually right now. I teach children in China. Their regulations are changing a little bit. They just need some new regulations from the government, so that might be changing in the near future. But as of right now, I teach children in China. Some of my children are also in America, but primarily they're in China.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for the information. As you might be aware, that Hello is changing. It has got contract from the Korean government, and they're going to start, getting more contracts from next month. Do you have any plan to join those, teaching courses to those students?
I am still looking at that. My structure of my other courses between August and September is some of my busiest schedule. So a lot of my courses with my other company for children has already been scheduled out. And so I'm hoping that some things are going to be changing. I said, I'm hoping that maybe after those adjustments, I will be able to offer live some of those courses that they're talking about for September in the market.
Okay, that's great. So, if you are to advise our learners to learn English about you know, one matter, what would be that advice for them? I mean to say, how they can learn English. If you have to advise only one feature, like reading or studying or speaking.
My answer to you would be, I'm always promoting my core skills, but my thought for you would be is whatever you do, try to do every day. Try to do something with the language you want to learn every day. If it's just practicing with someone, practice with them. You can speak to them live through Hallo, excellent. If it's watching a show that's in English, excellent. But just keep keep trying or keep practicing something. Just keep practicing. The more you practice, the more you'll be able to grasp that language and become more fluent.
That's great. And also, Teacher Nicole, very often, sometimes I heard from different teachers that you need to think in English. You know, non-natives very often are confused about this term, how they can think in English when they don't know English. What would be your advice in that case?
That's a good question. I would say the best. You want to, especially when you're first learning. I think it's important, especially when you're a beginner. You need to encompass all different parts to be able to start to visualize it in your head. So, a journal where you keep track of what you're learning. When you learn a phrase, write it down. When you have that phrase, when you practicing, continue to use it out loud, and also continue to write it out. So I lost track there for a second, but my thought process is along your journey, keep a journal to help you continue to learn and grow. I'm not sure what you're learning. Keep reminding you to go back into those spaces.
Okay, thank you very much, teacher Nicole. Is there anything you'd like to share before you leave? But I've got another question which I should have asked at the beginning. So while you are teaching on Hello, did you have any funny story or any sad story you'd like to share with us?
Um, I explained earlier that my career started in IT. I had a, in all hands down, I had a great career. Um, I started as an employee as a tech support analyst, and I continued to grow. And I've been with my company for going on 13 years. I made it to senior management. I had a very nice job, and I was able to provide for my family quite well with that job. But it was very long hours, and when I had my first son,
Hmm.
it wasn't. I had to balance. In order to be able to go back to work, I had to be able to go back to work. I had to make sure my child had childcare. So my child, we took a childcare.
That must be expensive, teacher
It was
Nicole.
expensive, but understandably, you're right, it was expensive. Um, and then 6 months later, um, my son caught the flu. We didn't know he had the flu, but he got the flu. We had to go to the hospital because he was very sick, and my son stopped breathing and passed away about 5 days later.
Oh, very sorry to hear that, teacher Nicole.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. So after going through that experience, my life was pretty crazy and terrible for quite some time. Um, Eventually, me and my husband were able to go back to work, and we were lucky enough that we were able to have another child. And once that child came, my second son, who is now 4 years old, um, my life and my view of life changed in that I wanted to make sure I was home to take care of myself. So that's where my life changed. So my career changed at that point, and I really wanted to turn my life around to be able to stay home and take care of my children, but also still to be able to work from home. And so that led me to teaching children, and then that led me to teaching more children, and then also wanting to get back into the field of teaching all ages, which led me to Hallo. So it also led, by the way, um, and I don't need to end on a sad note, but I'm also a proud mother of 3 boys. So I still have a 4-year-old now and a 2-year-old. And on a side note, my 4-year-old was born on the same birthday as his oldest brother. So things all happen for a reason. Our paths in life lead us down for a reason. And this one has led me here with you guys today to be with Hallo.
All right. Thank you very much for this share. That's really a sad story and also coincidence having the similar and same birthday. Okay. Hassan has a question for you, teacher Nicole. Is it okay if you can read and answer quickly, please? The latest comment.
You don't get fluency by reading textbooks. Some people don't finish school. You don't get fluency by hearing them. I think listening is the key to speak like a native speaker. I don't think you were wrong, Sam. I think being able to hear someone with the accent and how to properly pronounce the words is very important. But it's not, um, in my personal opinion, um, it's not one aspect that rules above all. In my realm, which I promote, which we mentioned earlier, is core skills. It's not just speaking and listening, but also reading and writing. So yes, it's important to hear a native speaker, but it's also important to practice after them. And it's also important to make sure you're reading and writing. So if you combine those skills, and to me, I think the combination of all four is ultimately, to me, most important when you are trying to reach transfer language.
Thank you very much. So, dear viewers, teacher Nicole has 4 skills curriculum. It's coming very soon. And as you see, she has explained quite a few times, reading, writing, listening, speaking, all are interrelated. So one cannot go without another, honestly. So, which is why teacher Nicole has a special course from the Hallo. If you'd like to join, please go to the Discover page and find out her courses. Once again, I'm going to show your course, yeah, to our viewers so that they are aware which one is your course. At the moment, teacher Nicole is on the offering around the world, which is, I think, is the 4th lesson, right? Is fourth lesson. Okay, around the world. Is it here on the screen? I'm sure you can see and other can see that. Oops, where is it? So, dear viewers, once again, if you have not followed her, please, it's her high time to follow her, support her, and join her lesson. And I'm sure that you're going to learn a lot of things because she's a fantastic teacher, a successful mommy. I wish you best luck, teacher Nicole. And always, I always become happy when other Hello teachers join me during my live stream. I always welcome each and every person, and I always invite them to talk. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, very welcome. I'm sorry I was a bit late because there was a problem at my home. So, so if you have any other advice for learners before we finish the lesson, please do share with us.
Just keep it up. Just keep trying, guys. And Hollow is a great place to really to expand yourself. So join student streams, join us in courses. We have a lot that you can learn and grow from Hollow, including private lessons. So keep it up. Just keep practicing. Okay.
Thank you very much, teacher Nicole, and thank you very much all the people who have joined. Literally, there are many people watching, though some of them are silent, never make any comments. So thank you very much, guys. I couldn't read all of the comments though, but please do come support teacher Nicole, support us. We need your support, honestly, teacher Nicole. Without the students, teachers are nothing. We need your support, your love, your cooperation. And Hello is a global platform, and we have got around 1.3 million members around more than 160 countries. Which is amazing. Yeah, these members were without any generic marketing style. Now Hello has started marketing soon, so we're hoping to get 10 million or maybe more very soon.
Amazing. I agree. It'll be so awesome. I can't wait. We're gonna keep growing with them.
That's right. So thank you once again, teacher Nicole, and best of luck for you and for your children and everyone. Thanks, dear viewers.
And I hope you have a lovely night. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It was great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so thank you very much, Fiza, Jaida, Adamson, Mariam, Hassan. Let me see who else. Nazira, Fiza, who else? Ottoman, Himu, Mana, Mood, Elena, Chaima, and all the lovely people. Thank you very much, guys and ladies. Remember that it's an English learning app, and Hello has offered free courses. Join today. Find out your suitable teacher and you have to pay single money, okay, and ladies. So it will be an amazing experience to connect to a teacher and learn from them. And thank you very much. I'd like to see you tomorrow. Today it was the Independence Day of Pakistan. Tomorrow is the Independence Day of India. It is our local time. The UK time is 9:23 p.m. But in India and Pakistan, it is already midnight. So they have already celebrating. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you later. You take Bye.